This new moon solar eclipse in Leo is bringing forth more than just big, unexpected changes, as eclipses usually will do. This particular solar eclipse brings forth a culmination of energy that you have been putting your creative fire into over the last 6 months, 6 years, 10 years. Think back. What have you been consistent in? Where have you been placing your creative power? How much have you changed over the last 10 years in regards to your personal evolution and your sovereignty in this life? Where have you found more personal authority? Where have you found more ability to be creative and playful in this life? And how do you intend to use it now for the highest good? Well, this information can be brought forth during a solar eclipse, but it can also bring out the dank and dark and dirty, whatever has been blocking your creative manifestations from materializing in the physical. It can be brought to light during that eclipse window. So if you are experiencing a dark night of the soul, do not be dismayed. That does not mean that your efforts of manifestation have been in vain. This is the time when we go within and process everything that needs to be released so that we can receive those big, beautiful blessings that the universe has already received our request for. Now take a deep breath with me. Put your hands on your heart. This is the time when you pick your significator card. And then we will be pulling the hexagram spread from this wonderful deck known as the Tarot Spirit. Once you have selected your pile, your timestamps will be in the description. By the way, this is Key of Wisdom Tarot, and my name is Vivian Moon. Welcome to the channel. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet, and I will see you in your reading. Well, hello, old friend. I feel like whoever is watching this file has either known me through past lives or has watched a lot of my readings. It's just the energy that I'm getting for you guys. Something stable and steady about this pile. Also because of this, this gemstone, which is for the root chakra. It is carnelian. Carnelian is a lot about bravery, you know? There's a certain regulated energy to bravery. Like, even if you've seen a lot of shit, you know, even if you've been through so much that almost broke you, it rebuilt you, you know. It's the energy that's coming from this pile too. And your lust for creativity is reigniting. Oh, I feel that. Yes. The wavelength. And there's a sense of like reorienting, redirecting, changing, turning around, something that you've been working on, perhaps. The bridge in reverse. Okay. So I'm kind of seeing that wherever there's been like a disconnect of some kind, that this energy is turning around, that this is kind of about the rainbow bridge and your connection with spirit is one thing that I'm getting, which is interesting because we have the energy of the material plane along with this energy that's very liminal, you know? And this also this ocean I'm seeing here, this kind of Akashic ocean. It's like Akashic memory, right? It's a spiritual frequency. As we pull from the tarot of spirit, ooh, there's the ocean. Interesting. Some of you could work with Neptune as a frequency. That's interesting. Or I should say as a deity. I also believe that deities are frequencies. Hello, welcome to my world. So we're pulling the hexagram spread. Who should I pull for first, Spirit? Channel a little bit more. I was shown a cat. Fluffy calico cat could be very specific for someone, but for me, it's like fluffy tortoiseshell, fluffy calico is a very like energy tied to specific times in my life. So I'm kind of getting that like wherever you have been processing around past, maybe pets that you lost or people in your life that it's like maybe that trauma caused you to feel disconnected from spirit, at least for a time. Yeah, Brother Fire, the cat. I didn't even see that, guys. Look. All right, just spirit saying hello. They're saying leave that in the center. Okay, because we have Leo, Leo, Cancer. Interesting. I don't know. Some of you might have double Leo placements or Cancerian placements, but also just getting like planets exalted. That's interesting. Because yeah, some of you are very specifically Leo sun or just a fire sign, because we have Sagittarius here with the kind of like horse legs, and then I feel like Aries is the one who's kind of like riding this big horse cat. So yeah, wherever you've been having a kind of sense of like fight or struggle, maybe you've had to burn bridges is another thing that I got with that card being in reverse. Maybe you did have to burn a bridge recently, where you're thinking about it. There's a sense of something culminating around that here. To be independent, you know, like a cat. This is for Mercury. Ooh, okay. See, sacred cord. So that's interesting, because for some of you, it's that you have been really wanting to reconnect again with someone who you almost burned a bridge with. Yeah, the flame of spirit, four of fire, with all of these hexagram symbols. It's crazy, because this is the hexagram spread. And yeah, this is like someone connected to your close personal relationships, okay? Someone you held kind of almost like a sacred connection with, but then there's a recognition of where there's been a disconnect, like a serious disconnect between you and whoever this is. And there's like a story you've told around it here with Mercury, okay? So pay attention. What have you been telling yourself on repeat about this person? This is in the karmas. This also can reflect your career. But I'm getting it's like your relationships are really affecting your life right now. Ooh, okay. All right. This is really interesting because we actually have a 7-7. This goes back to like that July portal. Okay. Which is interesting because I was saying 6 months back. There's a sense of like the numerological portals being connected as well, and that I have to meditate on. But yeah, there's a sense of courage and insight. It's like being courageous enough to really see. And my stomach was, yeah, the strength card. Interesting. Because you're developing strength, courage, and wisdom, just like India Ari. Strength, courage, and wisdom, it's been inside of you all along. Yeah, the Hierophant. Okay, so the Hierophant is, I'm getting self-commitment here strongly. Commitment to your practice as it pertains to these relationships. Perhaps manifesting, intending for, you know, those who have your best interests at heart and those who see you in a serious light, like they're committed to you. You know what I mean? They're committed to making the relationship good with you. They're committed to listening to you, because in every relationship, there is a teacher and a student, depending. It's like, I'm not saying one person is and one person isn't. It's like both people get to be teacher, both people get to be student. That can't be lopsided. We all have to learn things from each other. Okay, so your relationships are bringing learning experiences right now. Taurus energy, Cancer energy, Leo energy, fire sign energy, I should say. All of them. And yeah, tentatively they said with this one, okay. Interesting. I'm seeing a bigger picture now. So there's a sense of like where there's faith, not in a Christian-y way, but like in a true sense of channeling divine, where both people are committed to that and they're also committed to seeing and correcting their own flaws, there can be reconciliation here, okay, with the Six of Cups. There also can be spiritual relationships entering your life at this time, okay? Because it's an open channel here. There's a lot of water energy. So it's kind of like, with Aquarius being that it's like Aquarius is interesting because it's it's an air sign that has this energy of water inherent in it, right? Like the water bearer. So there's a sense of whatever you've been holding on to emotionally, like you being like fed up and tipping the water jugs, just like Aquarius. But that's in the opposite sign, right? That's the lunar eclipse, and we're gonna experience maybe more of that during the lunar eclipse. But you might get a kind of a snapshot, okay? You might get a snapshot of what's coming during the lunar eclipse at this time. You might see something, you might have insight, you might realize, you might go, oh, fuck, all right, because there's something about opening the channel here. Put it down. Yes. Okay, so whatever it is about the divine bridge that's opening up for you to kind of rekindle your relationship with divine in a really special way. Now who's this? Because there's this energy of the screen, which feels very much like a TV screen, a computer screen, a phone screen, whatever the fuck. Whatever you've been seeing, because this really reminds me of, I think it's supposed to kind of be like Guernica, which is a painting of the 1936 Spain during the Second World War. So that being like a very like kind of political energy in this deck, it feels like whatever it is that you've been witnessing in the world, it's like you're able to have dominion over your own power to manifest in your own life, while also simultaneously acknowledging that which is very hard to acknowledge about the times that we live in. All right. And that is a very important and special and powerful ability, to be able to address that which is hard to address while still maintaining the brightest vision for your own future. I'm kind of seeing, yeah, this has a dark and light twin, almost like, because there's a lot of energy in Gemini right now. That effect, right? That effect. I believe Mars is in, wait, I don't actually know. I made a spread about it and I don't actually remember. Help me remember in the comments. This is your moon energy. Okay. All right. Oh, yeah. Well, okay. So the moon being in Leo at this time with the cause and effect card, and the Hanged Man together, I'm kind of seeing, yeah, the Lionsgate portal and this energy of the figure 8, the infinity sign. There's something about you receiving emotionally a kind of like spiritual cause and effect from what you were intending during the Lionsgate, which could almost like cleanse or purge you out for some of you folks. But for others, it's going to bring the physical effect of your cause very quickly because of where you're currently at spiritually. And for those of you who've been following me for a long time, you will already be, I want to say, pretty developed. Because of, like, you know, the collectives that I read for are constantly developing themselves. This is what I tap into, this is what I pick up on. People who are very dedicated to their spiritual path. And that the Hanged Man here, right, with his shining aura here, and I want to say almost like he, she, they, like Hanged Man can be very gender neutral kind of energy. There is that energy of divine neutrality, like, yeah, no, I'm just going to give it over to divine. That kind of emotional release can provide this very like seamless cause and effect. Like, oh yeah, I'm just going to give it over to divine. Divine's going to take care of the whole thing, whether it's a relationship, whether it's you needing to strategically position yourself in a powerful place in your career. You don't do it out of survival mode. You do it from a place of energetic coherence for a lot of you in this pile. And if that is not the case, you're still feeling the struggle, but the struggle is putting you in a more powerful energetic signature overall, and you need to understand this. This card on the floor is specifically for people who are struggling right now. Yeah, the Garden in Reverse says that even if you don't see the fruits of your labor, all of it's information. because I have to speak out this kind of like reality about gardening, is that sometimes you plant seeds and they don't fucking grow, but then you find out the reason why they're not growing. That's what gardeners do. That's their job. Okay. And so there's a sense of you finding out, okay, you know, after maybe having fucked around, for some of you to find out, that there are reasons why your magic hasn't been working. But that is not a failure on your part. It's absolutely not. It could have even been a failure of whoever taught you, even if it was me. Like I'm willing to say that whoever has taught you in a way that doesn't benefit you, you don't need to hold on to those truths. You don't need to internalize any of that information. You need to find what works for you. Okay? Okay. All right. Check it out. The way that you are expanding, right, is, you know, I'm seeing the Empress poking out of the deck. I have to take it. It's the Fountain of Love. All right. Listen, this energy is very like, whew, it's a double-sided coin here, because we're getting a lot of power, a lot of celestial energy, a lot of intuition, a lot of just pure divine life force manifesting in physical, right? Something to really celebrate, and even maybe like with a group, right? Connecting heart to heart with these deep soul connections coming into your life. And then there's this other energy of like staying calm when there is, you know, a moment of revisiting a sense of lack, right? Wherever you feel that energy come up, it's almost like you're able to look at it from this stabilized place that you've built and say like, oh yeah, that's past energy. that's past shit, you know, and really like really own that and be almost like naked in it. Because I see him, he's naked. He's not trying so hard, you know, to figure shit out. He's already grown all these trees behind him. Okay, so those of you who have been very dedicated to your spiritual path and seeing a lot of results along that, you're unfucking bothered. You're unfazed by that energy. Okay, it's like a flash in the pan. It doesn't even upset you. I really want to come back to this relationship though, before we end this reading, which, by the way, this hexagram spread is a session I love. I take you into the sacred space of the heart, which is the seat of the soul. That is where your soul connects with your body. And in that space, a lot of people experience spontaneous manifestations coming in, or insights that kind of unlock a key to their inner self that helps them realize the next steps that they need to take on their path, or perhaps a way that their relationships can heal or not. But it's always a beautiful experience. It's always divine. So if you enjoy this spread, if you enjoy my readings, make sure to check out all of the readings I have available, including this hexagram session. All right, dear. So let's get another card for this relationship. Ooh, Eight of Wind, exactly. There was a story. There was a perpetual story you were running over and over and over and over again, like it was your job, about a certain relationship in your life where there was struggle. So what is changing about this, Spirit? I want to know. Something's in the works. I'm telling you, something is changing. Something is changing in this relationship. What though? I think it's really going to differ from person to person, because I see two distinctive groups here, and it really is dependent upon, I think, accountability. Okay. That everyone involved takes accountability for their behaviors. Yeah, there's a sense of benevolence here. A mother figure is very possible for some of you. Mother, auntie, grandmother, or a friend who, like, you play that role for each other. It's divine feminine energy coming through, okay, for a lot of you. And then this high priestess, this Three of Earth, that 333, holy shit, I didn't even realize that. This is about collaboration, okay? This is about my perspective, your perspective, where we differ. Recognizing where we differ and making it about us against the problem means we have to have the insight to identify what the actual problem is. And so both people have to recognize where they've taken part in the problem. They have to recognize how they can also change their behavior to birth something new in the connection. Okay, it can't look the same way that it looked before. It has to be an evolved recognition of what works and what doesn't work. Okay, so if you're curious about this relationship and you'd like some coaching or counseling that, helps you to tap into your own intuition and helps you to realize what you need to realize from the source of your soul, check the link down below. And thank you to everybody who likes, comments, shares, saves these videos here on YouTube. I'm rebuilding an old channel, so all of that really helps. Thank you to everybody who has donated this month. It has helped me to stay in my tasty boba drinks and help me as I'm in the process of moving. So thank you so much for being a part of my life and a part of this channel. I will see you in the next reading. Blessed be. Pile 2. You are a straight G. Like, nobody fuck with pile 2. Like, no, people fuck with pile 2. People fuck with pile 2. But, dear, what I'm trying to say is, whatever it was, maybe you were gossiped about, maybe your power scared people because you were willing to look at the things that they were scared to look at, or whatever. You could have been the black sheep in a certain circle or your family. Like, dude, I'm telling you, you're a mystic. You're someone who sees the infinite possibilities in life. Because this is an extra card in this deck. And when I was shuffling, I landed on it and I just felt tingles all up and down my spine. And I was like, whoa, this pile has so much power. Some of you work with Shiva, I say, or another masculine lunar deity. All right. The dark father, if you will, but not dark as in bad, but like dark as in like the deep mind, right? The far reaches of consciousness. The one who transmutes. Because in the tale of Amrit, Shiva takes in the halahala, which is the toxic substance from where the devas and the asuras are fighting over the Amrit, the divine substance, churning the sea of milk. This is all symbolism which relates to our own consciousness, our own psyche, and how we respond to the world. Our kind of like angel and devil on our shoulder, right? The good and evil tendencies within the self and within the world. And it's our ability to do shadow work and essentially turn lead into gold, using the power of our spiritual truth. And that is why Shiva is called Nilakanta, is because he's the blue-throated one. And I'm just getting that you are connected to that somehow with this stone, but this is also a stone representing the Earth Star chakra for me. So it's kind of has a dual meaning, and so it changes depending on the reading, how I'm reading this particular stone. So in this one, it's kind of connected to both. Like, what you perceive about the world. So it's really deep, right? What you perceive about the world and the way that you are changing the literal infrastructure of reality. For some of you, you're like, you identify as an earth angel, someone who's had many lifetimes on this planet and feels like you are like a caretaker or steward of the earth, of nature, of the nature spirits. You're very deeply connected through the heart, through relationships, through animals, or your relationship with animals. But you might have also had a very hard life. So I'm just seeing that in this pile a lot. And if you really feel that way, like, let me know in the comments, because that's, a lot of folks I connect to are on that wavelength. So showing me the number 3. What else? Take a deep breath with me, everyone. I'm getting insights. I'm seeing a unicorn. Wow, I love that. So unicorns are mentioned in the Bible. Did you know that? That they're basically like rhinoceroses. Like, wow, as I'm saying that, there is an ambulance in the background. You need to know how fucking powerful you are. You really are. I think that you are maybe excessively humble, a lot of you. Yeah, temperance. Okay, you're just chill as fuck. You've been through a lot. You've transmuted, manifested a lot. Yeah, the Tower in reverse. Yeah, man, you're very unbothered by shit. I love that. It's because you do know your power, and I'm just like, I'm stoked to possibly, around how many lives have we known each other? Who knows? The Judge. Okay. So this energy here is very specifically like that sort of Saturnian energy of like the way the world is being right now, like either dogmatic or desperate, or I'm just seeing that right now in this card because I'm seeing this eyeball through this peephole and it looks all kind of yellowed. It's like you could have really felt judged recently. You could have really felt like the people in your world were either seeing you as dogmatic for your spirituality or assuming that you were needy in some way because of your vulnerability, perhaps, or because you had specific, I'm just getting specific intentions for relationships where you have boundaries, right? Like you're like, well, no, I need to be respected in this relationship while you're needy. No, it doesn't work like that. Okay, so your call for respect in any case is not a judgment of the other person's actions. Well, sometimes it can be. I can't speak for you, but like what I'm just getting is it's like, no, I haven't judged you in the way that you've judged me. I'm just saying I don't want to deal with this behavior. And so there's like a little skull, there's like a little sense of like death or cutting off, like people who either gossiped about you, judged you, did you wrong. There's something culminating around this here. There's something culminating and your own sense of discernment and judgment getting sharper, okay? Because you're being able to see it from a divine perspective of like source consciousness, totality consciousness, the Amrit being like an essence, right, that you embody. And that essence that you embody is like, yeah, I can have anything. I can do anything. But the 5 of Earth right underneath that is like maybe your kind of deeper blocks are being, I really should have put that other card out. Maybe it'll come out again. This is you right now, or is it? All right, we're reading Saturn first. Wow, okay. So that's what I'm saying. Wherever you've been, wherever there's a sense of like people have crossed you, double crossed, or like it's like you've to protect your own peace, you've kind of put up these boundaries. And so that has caused maybe a sense of like purging energy, karmic energy from within you. Like you've really just like you're saying, no, I'm not going to deal with this shit anymore. The fuck? And that has led you to release emotions and also maybe cleanse or release like certain patterns of behavior from within yourself that felt like it was like stopping you from stepping into your full power. There's a sense of releasing limitation here that I really love. All right, what are we playing for next? Playing for. You're not playing games, that's for sure. Or maybe some of you need to stop. Okay, this one. Oh. This one here, for relationships, for Venus. Okay, so I'm not saying that you intend to play games with anyone. No, absolutely not. But there is a person, perhaps a masculine figure in your life, either with water placements or just someone who keeps their emotions very private and their inner world very private. Someone who has a tendency to, like be almost like submerged is how they feel, right? Like they just don't share a lot with you. Could be a father figure for some of you, or just someone you feel disconnected from who you would rather stay connected with, but like the circumstances around it have just been very like you need to communicate with me, you need to share what's in your inner world, or this is just not going to work, right? It's like a veil is over them or something like that. Like there is a person in your life who it's like maybe they weren't even intending to play games, but some of them definitely were. There's like this energy of manipulation a bit. But you can feel the soul connection between you and this person, which is what makes everything hard. Is because when you can feel a person's soul right here, you don't want to give up that relationship because you see that divine potential within them. And so for some of you, this is a romantic partner. For others, this is like a family member or even a boss you worked for. Someone who you saw the good in and really deeply connected with, because this star is up right here. This has been true connection, true love. And when I say true, I mean aligned, right? There was things that were aligned. There's not enough transparency with this person. You're not allowed to be your full self with them. Maybe you feel judged by them. Maybe you feel there's like a sort of illusion around them, or they're delusional about something. where they feel entitled to, yeah, I just fucking split to the Magician. Someone whose energy really feels like, yeah, again, obscured. Like in this deck, like these masculine figures all have this theme of like having something obscured, right? Something hidden, which makes me wonder about the psychology of the artists, or what they really meant to say with that, right? But that sense of being walled off, that sense of like, I'm not sharing. And so in a sense, this helps you to like see if this person has affected you, that maybe like you've either been like an overshare or like someone who, and that's not a label, actually, it's not actually a name I'm calling you. You have been one to tend to overshare in hopes that it would trigger a response in the other person. Like maybe they'll feel vulnerable with sharing if I allow myself to be vulnerable and share. And that's not necessarily how it works. Some people really recoil at that. You know what I mean? And you might have realized that. You could have had that experience. But there is this Ace of Swords underneath, almost implying that there's like a dawn of a new day sort of coming through. So let's get cards for you. What cards are coming through for you and what you're going through right now? Because there's like an external focus here, and I don't think that it's necessarily like, you know, how you've been intending. I think that this has maybe caused you to go within. So let's, yes, it came out again. It came out again. Holy shit, look at that. Whoa. I am wiggling in my chair. That is so good. Dude, you're so awesome. I'm also seeing the Mother Water on the bottom of the deck. Oh my goodness. So you have this deep cosmic connection. It's like you see their soul, they don't see yours. You know, you're the one who sees. They're the one that's fucking blinding themselves. And that's so frustrating because you want them to be able to see and they can't. It's like, I mean, it's kind of like, how would you feel if you weren't able to physically see and someone kept being like, well, look how beautiful the sunset is, or whatever the fuck, you know? It's not that they're wrong in doing that. It's just, you know, if they forget, it's just that it's not very considerate. And so consideration, right, is what you have been cultivating. The ability to consider the fact that others are having a vastly different experience from you, or a vastly different experience from them, that can feel lonely sometimes. And I know it's hard to let go of certain connections that we feel this deep, resounding, soul level energy with. But it feels karmic, dear. It feels karmic. I'm not going to lie. I will never lie to you. Yeah. Okay. The flood, the wind. In Psalms 24, there's a line for he hath founded it upon the seas and established it upon the floods. And that it's giving the sea of milk, you know? So yeah, there are these pools of divine energy that which we draw from, right? As spiritual practitioners of whatever you draw your workings from, we are still all a part of the same energy, united field of consciousness. And there's a sense of meditation here. But then with this card, it's the opposite. This card is like popping the fuck off. Like you can feel it in the energy. Because this is the Knight of Swords, right? This energy is more like cool, calm, and collective over here. Collected. I said collective though. This is cool, calm, and collected. But it's also very normy, I guess, in a way. It's like, well, no, that's my own private world or whatever, where you're more like, no, I want to express this. Some of you have air placements like Aquarius is big here. Aquarius energy, Aquarius Libra, I'm seeing. But also Gemini with the Magus. So there's a theme of air in this spread. There's also a theme of water. So that, yeah, Aquarius also right here. So, excuse me, I dropped that card. But that whatever cards I drop, it's almost like maybe spirit is like dropping it. Like, you know, when an artist drops an album, it's going to feel epic, is what I'm actually getting from this. Clarity. Exactly. You're seeing this with clarity because you are tapping into your own intuition and emotions about this one relationship or multiple relationships with masculine type energies specifically, where you couldn't fully express yourself without being judged. That's what I'm getting here. It's like you couldn't fully articulate the wholeness of who you are. And because of that, you're like, all right, I'm on my way. and that sort of energy of that being you being on your way, right? With the Six of Swords, you're like, yeah, I wish you well, bon voyage. Well, it's more like you're saying bon voyage to yourself, because who knows if they're even saying anything at all. But your energy is feeling this flood, right, of emotions come in, or perhaps you've really acknowledged, right, through this open channel, like whatever was culminating during the last eclipse in Aquarius, is it's like something about you're having a full realization, a full scale, full circle realization of how this type of energy, how you were pandering to it, was blocking this sense of infinite possibility that you have. But since you have the ability to transmute, this feels like Shiva's energy again. This feels like that energy of like, okay, I can see another person's blindness or darkness, or I can see what's going on in the world. I can see how everything's playing out a certain way and why it's playing out that way, but I'm not going to react. I'm going to transmute it and use my own energy to make beauty out of it. Okay, that's what I'm seeing here. It's like very much you're uncrossed. Okay, this energy is very uncrossed. It's full of life force and light. Because see, that's what crossed up energy looks like. It looks bad. Shit looks broke as fuck. And a lot of people around you had that. And that's why they were judging. Is because they didn't know how to do anything else. Yeah, the Chariot. You are on fucking point. Ugh. Man, that's nasty good. Because it's like, it's forcing you to move on. And I know that this has been a process for you. I do. Mercury and then Jupiter. So yeah, what is this story that you're currently telling yourself about this unconsciously? Yeah, exactly. The screen. You might even want to look at pile 1. But the screen here is saying, it's like, man, you love communication probably, as someone with air sign placements or fire sign placements is even like coming through with Mars. I don't know. You're someone who with the screen, it's more like I'm just getting that you want to make sense of it all. And I do think that it all is also like expanding from, as in fractals, from each of your relationships, especially relationships with masculine energy. You're going to yourself, you're going, I mean, this is how I'm viewed by the masculine, on many levels. It's like you're taking that in, but then you're also realizing that it's actually irrelevant who views you in what way, because that evil eye is not going to be able to affect you, right? When you're in a certain frequency, when you're in the frequency of divine judgment, nothing can touch you. And I mean that spiritually, nothing can touch you. And as above, so below, right? You start to enter into this like transcendent quality, transcendent self. And that's happening at an emotional level, which means you've transmuted at an ancestral level. And gosh, goodness gracious. Holy, yeah, faith. Okay, so let's check this out. What is, and moving past the screen, because I know you have, and being able to tear yourself away from the worries, the stories, the trying to figure everything out, rumination, and all of the sort of, typical air effects, you come into the flame of spirit, which is Leo energy. You come into, yes, strength. You pop out in a new dimension, baby. Coming out of my cage. That song has been coming up for me. Yeah, so you recognize the corruption inherent within certain connections, and yet you feel at union with source and spirit. You feel aligned with the inner temple. You are telling yourself that story, or you are cultivating that energy through incantation, through daily ritual, for a lot of you. And I'm seeing the rainbow, so some of y'all are like my sacred queer, my sacred gay. All right, so with that, it's kind of like, yeah, you deserve the best, and you know this. And it's kind of like, Everyone does too, and yet we all must be accountable for our behaviors. For we reap that which we sow. And so this is what you've been sowing. You've been sowing a much better life for yourself. Overall, you've come into a greater state of clarity. You have come into a sense of harmonious union in the spirit. So I want to see what you're expanding into. Wow. Okay, so we have the garden on the bottom of the deck, which is kind of seeing your efforts starting to bear fruit. And I think the reason why Spirit is bringing up this relationship is because these types of relationships, or these specific relationships, are kind of in the way, man. Yeah, exactly, because that's who you are, right? And when you continuously give your energy to people who don't fucking see that, or they see it and they just pretend like they don't see this, like, wonderful, beautiful goddess, godex, God, whoever, diva in the garden that you are, when they don't fucking, the 9 of Earth. Like, when you allow certain things to come to completion with certain people, even as painful as it might be with the Death card here, it's like you start to actually see this manifest, okay? You start to actually see this new self-concept be made manifest. Yeah, the Temperance card and the Rainbow Mirror, it's starting to be mirrored physically, okay? This is about harvest as well. The Death card with an Earth card together, it's about harvest. Okay, and I'm seeing you reap what you have sown in a harvest that is bountiful, is plentiful. Even if it feels humble at first, right? Because with Sister Earth, it's about that humility. It's about saying, well, I can live a comfortable life. I can live a beautiful life. I can see my own beauty reflected to me physically, and I can be satisfied. And eventually this culminates to a garden that just gets bigger and bigger and bigger every year. And I'm seeing a lot of you tend an actual physical garden along with this too, and putting your magic into it, which is beautiful. My earth-based witches, you know what I mean? I love you guys. This is so beautiful. So if this rang true for you, let me know in the comments. Thank you to everyone who supports the channel. Thank you to everyone who sees the reflection of their beauty within these readings, because that is exactly why I'm here. And so thank you to everyone who also puts forth any amount of support towards that with the likes, the shares, the comments, and the donations that you bring to my channel. Thank you so much. And if you would like any guidance additionally in these matters, we go deep in my sessions. The hexagram session is the session where I take you into the sacred space of the heart, which is the seat of your soul, where your soul connects to your body and you're able to transcend the paradigm by going deeply within yourself and seeing that which only your soul can share with you. And this is what it feels like when we're in there. So I invite you to this sacred space if this reading rang true for you and you want more. Thank you so much for watching this reading, and I'll see you in the next one. Blessed be. Pile 3, you might laugh at what I'm about to say. We're going to do some shuffling while I think of how to tell you what popped up at the beginning of your reading. So, I forget who does this song, but it's like, oh baby, you got what I need, but you say he just a friend. Yeah, for some of you, this is about a counterpart. Not the whole reading, but just this one insight. Because this reading is about you, first and foremost. But relationships have come up as a big theme during this, during the last 2 piles. So perhaps this is relationship themed as well. But Venus is in Libra. So we are kind of working out relationship shit. I'm hearing an ambulance. So there has been a sense of like, I'm getting that like whoever you were in this relationship with could have either ghosted, dismissed, played with your heart, and diminished how you were feeling about it. Because I heard wambulance, and it's not energy coming from me. I would never dismiss your feelings like that. This is about someone in your life who you were very clear with, and they were very not clear with you. And you thought that this person had what you needed, but that they were maybe like playing games with your fucking heart, and this was a soul connection, okay? And yeah, I saw the star card there. You say, hey, just a friend. You say, hey, just a friend. This one here is all about your soul star chakra. So this was a part of your soul's mission. Whatever it is I'm talking about, it's maybe, it could have been a trend in your relationships where you felt devalued because you hadn't fully connected with the energy of your own soul to begin with. Okay, you were disconnected from yourself. But now I think you're coming into a greater state of awareness and connection with yourself. So let's see what the card brings. The gem. Holy shit. Okay, so the gem, esoterically speaking, is a lot about like the pure core energy center, like, pure core essence of an energy center. Such as like the third eye. You know, it's that sense of like a crystallization process of energetic purification, or like where you have these like realizations and you have a multifaceted view on things that, you know, perhaps before you hadn't really seen clarity. Now you're seeing rainbows. Now you're seeing like a full picture of things, and you're going, oh, that's why I went through that. That's why I had to go through all these relationships where I was being devalued, is because they were reflecting back to me where I was devaluing myself. And this, you know, this happens early on. This even happens before we're born. These energetic signatures that we have to kind of work through during awakening. So you could have been someone who awakened a long time ago, or you're just at a point in your awakening where you were crystallizing around a specific situation, specific people in your life, and you're going, ah, shit, okay, I could see how this really helped my spiritual journey. So you're at a point of completion and culmination where you also receive, you know, perhaps a gift from kind of going through hell with a specific group of people or a specific person, or even just a job where you weren't fully valued. We see the Fool here. What, you take me for a fool? You take me for a fool? No, you're the initiate. You're the one who is walking through the gateways. You know, I'm almost saying like Atreyu with the Sphinxes in the Never-Ending Story, which is very like oddly specific because it has like really no connection to the way this looks. Like the Fool's kind of little person. This Fool is so queer. The soul is family. Okay, so yeah, check it out. So however you gender this being, they know they're fabulous. Okay, and will not be taken for a fool in a negative way. This is about being foolish and playful and just letting yourself fully live life and breathe and not feel so attached. It's almost like you overly attached yourself to the people in the past who didn't truly value you, and there's a part of you that still longs for and misses those relationships. But I think that you're really moving past it now. The Lovers. I swear. So I see this as being like you being the divine child frequency, where your masculine, feminine energies are supporting one another. The way that you take action and the way that you think is supporting the way that you feel and your physical needs, right? The feminine, masculine energies, the one who nourishes, the one who protects and contains. The aspects of yourself that were not in harmony are harmonizing. And so, ooh, that could mean that you attract a very special connection. Okay, the six of cups. Okay, for some of you, you've really been working on this. You've really been, because it keeps coming back and saying like, put me on the table. I'm like, all right. Through struggle, you have become the fountain of life and light. For with thee is the fountain of life, and thy light shall we see light. The eternal life force and light of the universe manifesting through you. Damn, that's your story. That's your story and the Wheel of Fortune. Holy shit. So because that power shield, there's a sense of you breaking through another layer. There's a sense of there being like a layer almost around your energy field that felt like it was more like out in the causal plane or something. It was like stopping you from really seeing the causal plane. You are now, and what I mean by that is like, it's almost like the magical etheric layer of reality, but it's like it's a higher plane even than that. It's almost like the plane of deity, okay, if you guys understand what I mean by that. But it kind of even goes it's like a monadic consciousness, okay? So I'm seeing you tap into this monadic consciousness. I'm seeing you tap into the pleroma, from where in Gnosticism the aeons descend from. Like, you are tapping into that layer of reality, which means that you are creating your own luck, and you are rewriting your own story every day. Like, I'm seeing this be like, I was saying to myself, the hand of divine is even more powerful than the invisible hand of the market. You know what I mean? In capitalism. And so there's a sense of transcending a lot of like external narratives here. Like, in regards to everything in your life. Like, there's a huge cycle coming to a close for you, and it's gonna be so beautiful. It's so beautiful I want to puke is how it feels. Like, I'm like so excited for you. I'm so excited for me, because I feel like this message is for me too. Wherever you didn't feel valued in life, it's like you kind of said, well, fuck that. Oh my god, dude. Like, you can't, yeah. So the sun, it's like with the sun showing up in your Saturnian placement, you could be a public figure. You could be another reader here, is what I'm kind of getting. Maybe you also did divine counterpart readings at one point in your career. And I still do, of course, as they come up. But you could have been someone who was very focused on these sort of divine counterpart relationships at some point. And I actually, if you wanted to message me through like IG or through my email in my IG profile, I actually have a divine counterpart reading kind of like secretly in my secret stash of readings. And this is the hexagram spread, by the way, if you are curious about booking with me and looking into all of these things more deeply. But in the Saturn position, it's almost like you've cleared out so much karma that now it's like you get to really receive the fruits of your labor in such a beautiful way. Yeah, the Four of Wands, holy shit. And it wants to come out for your Venus. It wants to come out for your Venus placement. I'm telling you, there is a very special connection coming into your life. Okay? Someone who makes you feel happy just as you are. No changes. Okay? It's not that you'll ever stop changing. You'll always be evolving. You're, forever learning, forever a student. But this year, okay, so you've got a bit of contrast going on in your relationships here. Because you've seen those relationships that make you feel caged in, and you've seen the difference in how certain relationships make you feel contained. Okay, but this is also the difference in how you feel in your body. Okay, do you feel trapped in your body, or do you feel like your body is a vessel for which divine can pour through? Right? I'm kind of seeing that, on the physical layers of reality, it starts to feel like you're no longer in a cage, but you are in a sacred containment field that is a fountain of love that's pouring, fortune after fortune, blessing after blessing into your life. And it's all because of the work that you had to do through these kind of like fucked up soul connections. I'm going to say it. They were fucked up. But it's not, for nothing. The moon. So Mars is in Cancer. Some of you have that, as I do as well. We're connected on that energetic level. Meaning that the way that you take action is very intuitive, okay? And that's like something that, not a lot of people can appreciate, but the right people will love. Because you'll just be on that wavelength, it's like the two wolves howling at each other from a distance, and they can just hear each other's sonorous, howlings. Sonorous howlings, I like that. And there's a sense of like ancestral memory coming through. I really wanted to start channeling my ancestral spirits, but I stopped myself because I realized we all need different frequencies, but that is coming through. I'm sensing it. They just want to say one word. Takiana is the word they use for remembering. So this is a lot about remembering how to operate from a divine frequency and not get in your own way. And Yeah, the star in reverse, there was a sense of like where certain energies were maybe blocking and you needed to acknowledge that. Resurrection, divine frequencies moving through your life. This is for your lunar body here, your emotions here, your inner world and your intuition. There's a sense of man, like a big awakening, a big spiritual awakening happening for you right now, to where you feel comfortable just being open. You know what I mean? There's a lot of nakedness in this spread here with all of the different people, the bodies that are coming up. It's like spiritually naked. You know what I mean? Energetically naked, not having walls up, not being guarded, not feeling like you need to present a specific version of yourself to the world, but really it's like your soul is pouring through you into others and they are feeling it and they are sensing it, and it's something that's just so palpable. Something that's just so palpable is because it's the divine daughter. Oh, I said that right as it was the fucking card coming up. I didn't know that card was coming up, but yeah, it's the energy of the divine daughter. Is when the energy of source is fully embodied within you, okay? It's like Mary Magdalene energy. And so, and Christ consciousness. That sense of what you're expanding into, okay? How you're living your life by the life force that is divine force. And you don't have to force anything at all, is actually, yeah, which is interesting. You just flow with it. Divine daughter energy being that, you are cared for by the divine. It's you don't have to push for anything. It's not about pushing, it's about flowing and receiving from divine. All right, babe, thank you so much for turning the fuck up for this reading. Your energy is bomb. I love you. If you could like this video, I would highly appreciate, and any contributions you may make through the description where I have a donation link, through the comments where you can tell me how you think and feel about these archetypes here and the things that I said about them, and any other way that you show up for me in this divine relationship. I thank you. I thank you, and I am absolutely pleased to meet you. Get in touch with me for a divine counterpart reading. Otherwise, all of my other readings are listed in the link down below, which is my website. I will look forward to getting to know you better as you continue to show up for these readings. And I will see you in the next one. Blessed be.